Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Peg, for having me. So when I learned of this evening's theme of solidarity, I thought it might make most sense to read from my new book, which is called My Fault, which works a lot with fault and responsibility, primarily related to my own involvement in political work and other politics of the moment, and solidarity with them, how to consider fault, how to consider responsibility, and how we assign all of those. So I'm going to read one or two new poems, and then I'll read mostly from the book. Vessel for Purpose. I am coming on an age where I have no babies instead of no nothing. A woman grows older, it comes up. My pieces are compiling, never built. Essential is the rest. For example, these beers make no belly. M says, this is brave. I am reparenting myself. I say, this is my lazy lord failing to grow up. I hate her for having no business to attend to but folk business. A project of loving arises and goes. Loving, I call you my namesake because I have no child. Loving, she is such a stupid healer. Heal thyself, wrench thyself by those bootstraps of minutia, and pray. Pray that something alive will come of this. Proving a bird. My body is no wild thing. I speak, surrender, am mean to strange men. What walk protects me on a gray street? Am I to mumble? Am I to beg? Proving a bird, I play lamely at the feet of the sun. I call upon some giants. How to hold. The first way is briefly knowing someone who does not drive but moves about the city so quickly you have gripping, jealous pangs while you watch their day elapse. You are getting to know them slowly and try to deliver acceptance into the instance that you are together. At the gym, you and the person grab very different objects. Your object is one you could lift and steal easily without much regret. You normally feel regret and are proud of your ethics, but when it comes to things you can easily cover with only your hands, you do not defend them from yourself. The second way is not waiting and seizing instead onto their capable hands. Rigor. You are inspiring the way inspiring works for me. You are also reverent, the way that reverent can see, how any burgeoning plant life will never care about my tone, how any shoots meant for eating will fear what else is sown, how each cover I place over privates is a system I designed, how keeping it on makes me respectful, and keeping it meek isn't shown. What you keep in your blouse. I have not shot a single animal. I have not met the governing body. I have not called them directly. I have not leaned in far to see. But since I got here, I've been yelling, running alongside in the direction of all feats I can view. There is no alarm for this sleeping, but this is the softness I naturally grow. I promised my mother each breath would remind me. The way I move is I move with meetings. I try to stay within all these asks. Try to remember I'm a party who can participate. And envoys have come before me with alternatives to disengagement, how they pushed key players into the ring, how they didn't force anyone to fight, saying you can hold yourself back. What I'm seeking is gatherings where I can easily deliver my mind, especially on the days when I run laxly, especially on the days my blind eye pours. People say these are essential procedures. Don't keep them to yourself this morning, or the way you're moving may stay just yours. Delicate matters. I said, don't mind me impressing this upon you. I feed you safely, my hurting turf, my conscientious waste, meals as protectors of broke chemistry. Every ache sound we can't eat becomes a cheap solution, becomes mild fodder for play. We play because it matters, recreation for relief. How could you lessen levels if you never ever shame? The curse will find us shortly on the planet we have grown. What matters spares us. What matters goes to seed. I can be your level-headed leader, manufactured deep inside, a balmy reprieve. I can express less from what we eat, press the most delicate shapes out through a glaring sieve. Fault. We all keep on walking so that we can look small. We preserve seaweed, sustain an easy lore, believing in our touches, living lightly on land, by raising populations proclaimed innocent on one score. Every person stands yelling at any kiss of death. No fault is our fault, just fractures in the land. When raising populations who build under their breath, a pillar is for finding what doesn't make it fall. What's at the top of no trees pressing into no sky? A well-lit vista, regal and banal. Gas stations stop us, make us want to hide. By raising populations, proclaimed innocent on one score. We preserve seaweed, sustain an easy lore. We do not notice neon signs that thunk ashore. And I'll just read one more. Cultivation. Living above land is my new failure. There is no lover who could trust me this way. I might march for satisfaction and pull right my boots. This is definitely how I pray. I mean, calling up laws of nature, yelling, don't plant here, gripping on the sandy ground, saying, how many more things could be grown here in a shifting dirt? It has been used so many, or not yelling, out of wanting to leave no trace. I reprimand these plants for staying the way they never should have held. We know everything is dying, roots warped by sandy soil. We know our holdings have a history of unsafety. Someone owned them so wholly, someone acted on their behalf. That way, we people know it's risky to own land. My father said, we are frightened of real estate. It's what they can take from us. We buy only what we can move. We trade in caution. And when I see my ancestors walk, it's on a road you can't sink in. It's a road that allows you to leave without speaking, without telling anyone. An Irish goodbye, ghosting from whence you came. No sacred failures at your back. Because you are not a grower or any other personnel. You are never heard talking without caution. You are never heard whistling bare odes indiscreet. I call this my cultivation, what I prefer to heed. Every flux, every weather is a reason to away. The reason that states humbly, the reason that lulls all of me into business. The business of driving from one trait to the next, inheriting bad news, an evolved way to shelter. Some call it farming on the mutable home. Thank you.